I can't do it.
Okay.
We'll do it live.
Okay.
No. We'll do it live. Fuck it. Do it live. I'll write it and we'll do it live.
Right.
Fucking thing sucks.
In 5, 4, 3.
Anyone claiming that America's economy is in decline is peddling fiction.
I've abandoned free market principles to save the free market system.
But we have to pass the bill so that you can find out what is in it.
Raising the debt ceilings does not increase our debt. It does not somehow promote profligacy.
I know words. I have the best words. Nobody knows the system better than me, which is why I alone can fix it.
What's up, everybody? Happy Friday, and welcome back to the Peddling Fiction Podcast. I'm your host, the voice and soul of so-called fiction, Johnny Profita. And back with me, bright and early, on the mend, is the throat goat, one and only Justin Hillbilly Boy Campbell. How you doing over there?
I'm doing. I went back to work last night, and that was a mistake. I left about halfway through the night, and I'm not recovered. I really underestimated how bad this was going to be. Did I tell you? So apparently the doctor, so my esophagus was just completely closed off. And he had told Stephanie that he had to cut a lot more than what he thought he was going to. And Stephanie had an appointment with our family doctor yesterday, and I've got an appointment today, which is why we're going early today. But our family doctor went over like the surgeon's report of my surgery. He had to cut like 4 inches. Like, your esophagus is only like 8.5 inches anyway on average. He had to cut like half of this fucking thing to
Jesus.
Yeah, so that would explain why I'm still not feeling great, and recovery has been kind of slow, but I'm getting there.
Would you be like, well, I wanted to do this fucking 3 months ago, but
yeah,
you were too busy. Does that have anything to do with how much they had to remove?
See, I don't know, and they don't, like the GI that I talked to about all of this, because my uncle has had a scare with Barrett's, and my uncle, my dad, and my cousin have all had to have their esophaguses stretched a couple times. Like, they have to have it done every few years or so. And when I talked to the GI about that, he said, this is not related to that in any way. He said, this is something that we can't explain. We don't know why it happens. It's really, really rare. And it just happens. It's like, well, that's real fucking encouraging. But with the surgery, there's like a 95% chance that it's a one and done. Like, they do the surgery and you never have a problem again. So hopefully this will take care of it.
5%. Yeah.
Yeah. Once I'm healed up, then that'll be it, and I'm done with this forever, and I can just be normal again. But man, this getting back to normal has been it's been rough. I want to do stuff because I can't just not do stuff, and every time I try to do stuff, I just get wore out. Like work last night was just too much. I got about 3-4 hours in, and I was like, I can't. I was physically hurting, and I was exhausted all at once, and I was like, I have to leave. I can't stay. It was bad. I don't like it. I don't like feeling helpless. That's been the worst part of this, is because you've met me when I was healthy. Like, I'm not a small guy. I've always been able to pretty well just do whatever the fuck I want and take care of myself. And this not being able to has been just awful. It's really knocked me down.
Well, that sucks, bro. Sorry to hear that.
It's all right.
If it makes you feel any better, in solidarity, I started a 3-day bone broth fast because I know you can't eat any solid foods.
Oh, well, thank you.
I'm on day 3 of that.
I was enjoying my broth. I had some beef broth and I had some chicken broth, and
yeah, it's really not that bad. Like, the hunger thing is not really an issue. It's just that, I like to eat good food. That's the only thing. And
yeah, I've had to ease my way back into it because I wasn't expecting like the stomach problems that I've been having. Is apparently like, not getting food in your stomach for the last year, basically. And then all of a sudden now I actually get stuff into my stomach. It's getting my body adjusted back to being more or less normal has been about as wearing on me as the surgery was. So I'm getting there. It's just all kind of a relearning how to be normal.
All right. Well, it could be worse. You could have been stabbed in your sleep by one of your kids. It's always a possibility.
One in particular, but she loves me, so maybe not. Yeah.
Rob, on her good side, huh?
Rob Reiner got, man, and that's crazy. So there was somebody pointed it out. Rob Reiner and his son, the one who stabbed him, did a movie a few years ago where they kind of talked about their relationship and their up and downs and back and forth with each other. And like the son had a lot of drug problems and a lot of other stuff. And then Rob Reiner is also a, famous Hollywood director. And so they had kind of a tedious relationship anyway. Has there been anything about like why the son did it that's come out or anything like that?
Only that they had kind of like a blowout fight at Conan O'Brien's party or something like that. So yeah, like he brought his kid to this party and it was like, like a black tie affair kind of thing. And his son is not dressed up and he was just being, like a crazy drug addict. And he got into like an argument with some Hollywood guy I can't remember his name. I've never really heard of, but I guess he interrupted him in a conversation, just being a dick, right? And his dad, they get into like a shouting match or something. So that happened before, but other than that, no, there's some video of him walking in the neighborhood beforehand. And he doesn't look like he's on like some psychotic break or anything, but yeah, did a ton of drugs, in and out of rehab like 17 times or something like that. Just a very troubled kid.
Of course, the thing that gets all of the publicity in all this is Trump made a post on Truth Social about it. He said, Trump. A very sad thing happened last night in Hollywood. Rob Reiner, a tortured and struggling but once very talented movie director and comedy star, has passed away together with his wife, Michelle, reportedly due to the anger he caused others through his massive, unyielding, and incurable affliction with a mind-crippling disease known as Trump derangement syndrome.
Oh, my God.
Sometimes referred to as TDS. He was known to have driven people crazy by his raging obsession of President Donald J. Trump, with his obvious paranoia reaching new heights as the Trump administration surpassed all goals and expectations of greatness, with the golden age of America upon us, perhaps like never before. May Rob and Michelle rest in peace. Obviously, this is a joke, but also maybe in
pretty poor taste. Yeah, I mean...
But what's really interesting about this is everywhere that posted this made sure to cut off the timestamp on it. So at the time when Trump posted this, the only thing that was out was that Rob and Michelle Reiner were found dead in their home. You had to actually open up the link or click on the post to get more information to find out that it was being investigated as a homicide. So anybody that, like, we've talked about this before, Trump notoriously in his first term would have somebody give him a Cliff's Notes version of his daily press briefings. This motherfucker ain't clicking nothing and reading anything. He saw Rob and Michelle Reiner found dead in their home, and he ran with that. I would 100% guarantee you. He didn't know that they were murdered. He didn't know that it was the son. At the time, nobody knew that it was the son. It was some hours later when the People magazine article came out that said that it was the son, and then we started actually getting all the details of it and everything. Like, I get it. It was in poor taste. It was definitely not a tasteful joke in the wake of the death. But people are looking at this in the light of everything that was known after this was posted. And at the time of the post, it was just Rob and Michelle Reiner were found dead in their home.
Yeah. I mean, that's an interesting, I haven't heard anybody make that point. I didn't really think about that. But I guess as soon as I heard it, it was like they've been found stabbed to death and the son has been arrested. That was kind of the story that I always heard. But there's just a narcissism about Trump that's just like, I don't know how you make that about yourself, but he can do it.
He definitely did it.
Because Rob Reiner was just like he was like psychotic when it came to Trump, right? For the last like 10 years or whatever. He's just been, he does have TDS, but the TDS does kind of cut. There's like an equal and opposite Trump narcissism thing that's equal and opposite TDS, where it's just like everything's about him all the time, even when somebody gets stabbed to death. But yeah, I mean, it's Trump, dude. What can you even say? That one didn't land. That one did not land. Did anybody
really expect anything less? And I mean, here's just a quick little compilation of some of Rob Reiner's Trump tweets. This is 10 or 12. Like, I mean, and that's the ones that are still up. There's a whole video that's like 3 minutes of Rob Reiner's deleted, like full on crazy Trump post. So it's like there was some bad blood there, obviously, and obviously the bad blood was on Twitter. Like Trump or Rob Reiner had at one point posted that he was done with Twitter until Trump's account was removed from Twitter. Like there was bad blood publicly on social media between the two of them. So to like, did we really expect Trump to not take a jab at him even in death? Like, and
you kind of hope that he has a little more class than that, dude. I mean, if you don't have anything nice to say, like you didn't have to send out a truth.
Hey, he did say,
you didn't have to say anything. You could like good riddance to that motherfucker and just think that to himself. But he's gonna broadcast it to the world. Oh man, he is just a different animal, man.
Oh, did you see? Speaking of Trump being a different animal, did you see where he's working on, or I think he may have done it, or is in the process of renaming the Kennedy Center to the Trump Kennedy Center? And the leftists are just losing their ever-loving minds. They're like, he can't change the name of the Kennedy Center without congressional approval. And it's nuts. And then he's also like working with his lawyer Dershowitz to see what the stipulations would have to be for him to run for a third term. He's still like the odds makers still give him a better chance of winning a third term than they give Kamala of winning in 2028. So that's nuts.
I saw it was on Part of the Problem. They ran a clip of him. What's that Jewish lady's name that was like his biggest donor? Marian Edelson or something like that. Every time I hear her name, I think of the crazy chick that ran for president on the Democratic ticket. It's like a similar name, but it's like an old Jewish lady. Gave him like $250 million. And Trump has just been like kissing her ass publicly, like hilarious, like just out in the open, like, you gave me $250, come up here and talk. You gave me $2, and she's like her husband was like a huge Israel supporter. So she's a big Israel supporter. And that's why Trump's doing all this. Anyway, she comes up there, and like at the end of her little thing, she's like, you want to go for a third term? I'll give you another 250 or something like that. Like, it's insane, dude. Like the level of just like outright open corruption is one of the things I love about Trump, because he's showing you exactly how Washington works. People just don't learn the lesson. They think it's like, oh, Trump's uniquely corrupt
Evil.
or something. It's like,
Yeah.
no, Biden just ran it through a bunch of fucking shell corporations. He's doing it. He's just showing you this is how it works.
Speaking of Biden and the open corruption type stuff, like Trump is getting his ballroom completely funded by private donors, and Biden can't get the money to get his presidential library built.
Yeah, I mean, who wants to fund that? You know,
Where's those 82 million people that voted for him? Why aren't they donating to? Why aren't they donating to build his presidential library? Although if it ended up anything like the Obama presidential library, the thing would cost $1 billion. So
yeah, I saw Obama tweeting about that. That's like, dude, he just like literally Tulsi Gabbard just came out and did a press conference saying like she has documents proving that he was behind the whole Russiagate thing. I don't know if anything, of course, does anything ever come of it? Not really. But I
think either today, speaking of does anything ever come of it, I think either today or tomorrow is the deadline for the Epstein files to be released. So may get a little, and naturally, if it is today or tomorrow, they'll drop it at like 4:30 or 5 o'clock this afternoon. That way it gets run into the weekend cycle of nobody paying attention to anything.
That's the other thing we should talk about. This Bongino is quitting.
Yeah,
that was. I don't know if that. I mean, it's unexpected. It would have been unexpected when he first started, but after the way things have been going, it wasn't. I guess not that big of a surprise that he's just like, I've had it with this. I'm out of here. But he gave some pretty weird reasons for it too. He was like complaining about the hours that he had to work, and he missed his wife. It's like, I come in here at 7 a.m. and or 7:30, and I leave at 7 p.m. and I miss my wife. I was like, what?
Oh, what?
That's why. I mean, we know that's not why, but he's just like, yeah, fuck this. I don't want to do that. I got a podcast. I'm making like $10 million a year. Why am I doing this fucking bullshit job? Thankless job. And, you know, him and Pam Bondi were having problems. So I don't know. But that was another development that took place while we were gone. Of course, the one, you know, we take a week off and everything happens. I don't know if we have time to cram it all into one show, but yeah, that was an interesting development. So he didn't even last a year. And I had, we'll see if the Epstein file, I mean, I have no hope that any of that stuff is really going to matter.
Well, while Bongino is quitting, he can add his name to the other 271,000 now lost government jobs, federal government jobs. Apparently they lost 160,000 in 1 month alone, which is fucking amazing. How do we up those numbers?
Yeah. Yeah, we should be celebrating this. But this is go ahead, roll it.
3,000, maybe 121. And then we dropped about 160,000 government workers, federal government workers, who are the people who took the buyout that, we began that program in the spring and gave people to the fall to step aside. And so I think that from the private sector point of view, it's just about what we've been getting all year. It's solid upward trajectory. The president's private sector job creation since he took office about 700,000 jobs. And so I think that, like the vast majority of the Bloomberg people polled were surprised on the upside. And I think that we were surprised kind of not at all. We think it's about on trend is what's happening.
Yeah, 271,000 government jobs have been cut this year, but supposedly 700,000 private sector jobs have been added. I'm not sure that the economy necessarily reflects that, but
yeah, the most recent jobs report that came out, I think on Wednesday or Thursday. I don't know. The days are all screwed up now because of that shutdown when the jobs report normally comes out. But they claim to add 64,000. And something funny, I think when in one of Jerome Powell's interviews, they asked him about the jobs report numbers, and he's like, yeah, there's usually about 60,000 job difference, like we're overage in the estimates. So it's like, okay, if we're going by that, then yeah, this is basically a wash. So yeah, the economic data is not great, but losing government jobs, I mean, that's a good start. It's a good start to trimming all the fucking government fat. These are not productive jobs. We need to get rid of as many government employees as possible.
I saw another report that went along with that shows that on like state and local level, they've been, so the cuts in government jobs have just slightly outpaced the additions in state and local. So like the states are still trying to keep growing the behemoth while Trump is cutting some of the fat on the federal side of it. So like the fact that the government, whether it's state or federal, is like the largest employer out there is fucking insane. Like that should never be the case. People are just and that's just people living off of our tax money.
Right. And then the other thing you don't see are the government contractors, which is the vast majority of people that get hired by the government. It's like, yeah, they don't get the pensions and all that stuff, but government spending is government spending. They're paying an employee or they're paying a contracted employee to do something. There's a ton of that, millions and millions and millions of contracted government workers. So they're just and here's the thing, everyone's complaint is like, oh, we need to tax the rich because the poor can't afford anything. It's like the reason the poor can't afford anything is because the government is gigantic, dude. We cannot afford this government. And yes, they're not taxing you in the sense that they're actually taking money from you, but they're borrowing like crazy and spending money they don't have. The federal, speaking of Jerome Powell and the Federal Reserve, they just started QE again. On December 1st, they're like, okay, we're going to stop our quantitative tightening. And then not even 2 weeks, 12 days later, they start QE up again. They don't call it QE, but they're going to be buying $40 billion worth of treasuries every fucking month, it's QE. There's like, oh yeah, it's for liquidity. They'll come up with some bullshit excuse as to why they're doing it, but they're doing it because the economy is shit and they're trying to blow air back up into this bubble. And this is why everything's so expensive, because the real tax on all these on the poor and the middle class is the inflation. That's what's keeping you poor, not the billionaires. It's the cost of this leviathan of a government, man. It's just totally out of control. And the things they do with the money is just ridiculous. They're like, oh, well, I'm happy to pay a little more in taxes if it would do this. Well, it's not going to do that. It's like 3% of the fucking tax revenue. 5% goes to what people want them to do. And the rest of it goes to bomb people halfway around the world, line pockets of lobbyists and Ilhan Omar and fucking Somalis everywhere. By the way, we're up to 18 billion in the Somali fraud Minnesota case.
Oh gosh, yeah. Let's see.
18 billion is where we're at now. It's ridiculous, dude. The most ridiculous thing while you find this clip is not that there's $18 billion worth of fraud. It's that we started with 1 billion and like 2 weeks later we're at 18. Like the government has no fucking idea. It could be 50 billion by the end of the year.
And Tim Walz and the Minnesota state government have said that they don't know. They have absolutely no idea. Like they don't even know how to start tracking it. It's like, what?
Whoopsies. Yeah. Oh,
I spoke in the fall about the
what kind of fucking answer is that?
I saw.
Okay, go ahead and roll it.
Something's fraud that's much larger than what's been visible to the public. When I said that, it wasn't hyperbole or rhetoric. It was a warning. Today I want to talk and I want to show here a sense of what that iceberg looks like, because I think people deserve to know what that is and how big this problem is, because we can't solve the problem until we grapple with the size of it. So the Center for Medicare and Medicaid Services pulled the claims data for these 14 programs dating back to 2018. And those 14 programs in Minnesota have cost $18 billion since 2018, and more than $3.5 billion in 2024 alone. So that's a sense of the magnitude of the problem. These are the 14 Medicaid programs, which is just a part of Medicaid, these waivered services that have been flagged as having issues with program integrity and fraud. Now, I'm sure everyone is wondering how much of this $18 billion was fraud. It's not the $1 million question. That's the $18 billion question. The answer is far too much. And the task ahead of all of us is not only figuring out how much of that money was fraud, because we know it's
like, I'm going to go out on a limb. If the government's flagging this as potential fraud, 99% of the time it's going to be fraud. Most likely. It's what can you even say, dude? Why? How can you allow some entity to have this much control, this much power, and this much money when this is how they behave? They're completely, if they're not completely corrupt, they're completely inept. You know, it's like stupid or liar kind of thing. Like pick your poison. But either way, you shouldn't be giving them all this money and depending on them to do things to help you. It's ridiculous.
Well, did you see where like I think the Somalian GDP is like 13 billion? Like, yeah, that's all the money that they've stolen and sent over there.
Yeah, and they got nothing to show for it, just like we've got nothing to show for it here. Yeah, some of those Somali representatives are like on record. I saw this one chick talking, couldn't pronounce her name, and she was like, "Yeah, my goal is to get all the taxpayers to send money to Somalia." It's like, who the fuck put these people in all? Like, who's voting for these people?
Well, speaking of, did you see where the Supreme Court unanimously affirms the Department of Homeland Security's authority to revoke visas in the case of like sham marriages and stuff like that? So there's rumor, whether or not it'll actually happen, it should. There's rumor that Ilhan Omar is being investigated and may have her visa and everything, or may start looking at revoking and overturning some of her status. There was also a thing that her some of her original documents, whenever she came here, they lied about her birth year, because if she had if the year had been different, then she wouldn't have qualified under her father's visa or something like that, and she would have been denied. Yeah, there's all kinds of like they need to do this. Like,
I know.
If you go after somebody as high up the chain as Ilhan Omar and expose all of that, the fraudulent bullshit that she did to get here, and then everything else that she's been a part of, like, go after that with just like no holds barred. Do it. Deport her, like,
confiscate her fucking 30 million first and then deport her ass.
Overturn everything, confiscate all of the money she's stolen, and then put her on a plane and airdrop her into Somalia with or without a parachute, and be like, "Good luck, bitch." Like, that's what they need to do.
Yeah, there is a lot of shady shit going on. She has to be guilty of something at this point.
She's married her. They've got the whole married her brother thing to get him in or something. It's like,
yeah,
a lot of bullshit going on.
Yeah, and dude, you just gotta get him out of here. Gotta get him out of here. You can't run a country this way, or a state. Like, it's so ridiculous. It's ridiculous that this is even like debatable or something. Who's standing up for this? But there's a good portion of the American people that are like, oh, you should, yeah, Somalis, okay, yeah, don't need them. Definitely don't need them. And we don't need the government blowing billions of dollars on horse shit. It's just complete bullshit that people are just afraid to say no to because they don't want to be construed as a racist.
Well, and speaking of illegals and deport them, I mentioned this before we got started, but I don't think you had actually seen this. The DOT finds that half of New York commercial drivers are illegals and threatens to pull $73 million in federal funding. The Department of Transportation has gotten into looking at the commercial driver's licenses for New York, and like California is one of those states that just will give anybody a fucking commercial driver's license. And what they're finding is a lot of these people are illegals that should never be, like, they don't even like put names on their licenses. They just give them a license. It's like fucking insane.
Dude.
Like that, investigated.
It's so ridiculous. It just reminded me of that thing. There was like a bunch of PPP loans that got approved, and the people used Barbie dolls for the pictures. I think that's true. I think they uploaded a picture of a fucking Barbie doll, and then they got a PPP loan. Like that, they're not concerned about any of this. Why? Because it's not their money, obviously.
Well, and like
New
York isn't concerned about giving commercial driver's license to illegals because they're not driving in New York. They're driving all over the country. Like California is not worried about giving commercial driver's license to illegals who don't speak English and don't know the rules of the road because they're not driving in California. They're driving all across the rest of the country. Like we have to deal with them here in fucking middle America where trucks are actually picking up stuff and moving stuff across the country. Like, and every fucking time, if you see a semi swerving or speeding up and slowing down erratically, doing something dumb, just drive up next to them and look in the cab. And I guarantee you, every single time it's a fucking Indian. Every time.
Yeah, well, get around them quickly.
Yeah.
That's just fucking terrifying, dude. Those trucks are enormous, man. They're fucking enormous.
I have plenty of truck driver friends, and I appreciate what they do. And, you know, it is a lifestyle to be an over-the-road truck driver. I am ready for the automated trailers that just program where they go. You load them, you tell them where they go, and they go there. You're like, we don't need truck drivers moving this stuff, especially when we have so many of them that are these illegals that are like killing people and causing accidents. Like it's at least weekly, if not almost daily, that you see something about these accidents that it ends up being an illegal who shouldn't have a license to begin with.
Yeah, and they're horrific. They're not just like tiny. It's like, oh, like 6 people. Like you killed 6 fucking people, and you made an illegal U-turn. It is. Well, yeah, it's one of the many things that hopefully AI will solve if the government doesn't fuck it up, get in the way and fuck it up. But what are the odds of that, right? Like this automated driving thing is going to be hopefully one of the first things that we get going. Seems to kind of be the low-hanging fruit with a lot of these things. You don't need the humanoid robots, really. You can just have computers do the whole thing. I don't know. What a goddamn mess the government has made of things. It really is. It really is unbelievable the amount of slack that they get and the amount of the amount of juice they've been able to squeeze out of just blaming the other side. It's like, oh, well, that was Republicans, and if you just put the Democrats in, then everything will be great. It's like, oh, that was the Democrats. You just put the Republicans in, then everything will be great. It's like, dude, we've been doing this back and forth thing for so goddamn long, and everything is just awful. Maybe it's not Democrat or Republican. Maybe it's a deeper issue of just government in general. And maybe we should try the things that made us a world superpower in the first place, which was unbridled free market capitalism, and none of these safety nets, none of these government programs and all this welfare and all this horse shit, none of it. This was a sink or swim fucking country. And that's one of the reasons why it was so fucking great. And millions of people came here to try to swim. They didn't come here to just try to bilk the government for fucking money. All right. I'm doing that. Man. Time goes a lot slower in the morning, I've noticed. Only 35 minutes in. I feel like we've been here for an hour.
We've covered a lot too.
Yeah.
Speaking of, what do you want to cover next? We were talking about some of the fraud and the amount of money that the government spends. Now, one of the big things that came up during the government shutdown was all of the SNAP stuff. And Trump has put forward forcing everybody to reapply for SNAP, so they have to verify stuff. More SNAP fraud has come to light. We've got
Haitians
in Massachusetts who stole around $7 million. They were pulling in $480,000 a month in SNAP benefits.
Leo Bonner and Saul Elisme for large-scale SNAP benefit trafficking, a scheme that turned a program designed to feed families into a multi-million-dollar criminal enterprise. SNAP benefits are also known as food stamps. The defendants are charged with one count of food stamp fraud. As alleged in the charging documents, these men abused one of the government's most critical safety net programs for their own financial gain. This is taxpayer money meant to keep people from going hungry. These defendants decided to take it for themselves. These defendants exchanged SNAP benefits for cash, which they pocketed. Bonner, a naturalized U.S. citizen from Haiti, owned the Jesuela Variety Store. Elisme, a lawful permanent resident also from Haiti, owned the Saul Mache Mixe store. These two businesses were co-located within a single storefront in Boston. To be certain, these were not supermarkets. They were not full-service groceries. It would be a huge stretch to even call them convenience stores.
I can already smell the store from here. Just thinking about it.
Yeah, everybody knows what it smells like.
So yeah, basically what they were doing was they were just using the stores as a front to cash the SNAP benefits, right?
Yeah,
something like that. But by the way, go ahead.
I say, and we all know that like this happens. This happens a lot. Like anybody that's lived in a poor community knows that this is what happens with this stuff. Like for as much as it goes to needy families, it also goes to people who don't, that will cash it in and run games like this where they bilk the system for thousands of dollars, or in this case, millions.
Right. By the way, it was just a couple weeks ago that everybody was going to starve to death because they didn't get their SNAP benefits. Where are the bodies? Where are the bodies? Because it took a while to open up the government, didn't it? It took like a month. It took over a month. Nobody died. Nobody even really missed a meal, did they? So next time, please shut the fuck up, all of you.
There were a bunch of them that complained because they couldn't get their...
Yeah, they couldn't get their fucking Doritos. Oh, I'm sorry. Not being able to get your Dorito. Dude, I'm on day 3 of just drinking chicken broth. And it cost me absolutely nothing. I used leftover chicken bones that I had in the freezer.
Yeah, I'm 2 weeks into nothing but liquids. Like I've had some tomato soup.
Yeah, you'll be fine.
Yeah,
you'll all be fine. It'll be it's good for you to do that every once in a while.
Especially the people that we saw making all of their TikToks about how they were going to starve to death without their SNAP benefits. Like, no, you're not. I can guarantee you, as somebody who has been slowly starving to death for the last year and didn't have the weight to lose and lost it, you're going to be fine. You're going to be absolutely fine. In fact, if anything, it'll probably be a benefit to you. You might actually be healthier after this is all said and done.
Yeah, it does have some really good health benefits. I mean, yeah, you don't do it in perpetuity, but you do it every once in a while, you'll be fine. You'll be better than fine, especially if you're all these diabetics and shit. It's good for your insulin and whatever, blood sugar. Anyway, some more fraud. I mean, find me a government program that isn't ripe with fraud. And they didn't even really go after these with the Doge thing. They're going after like even lower hanging fruit fraud. And people still freaked out. It just seems so goddamn hopeless, man. It seems so hopeless. And the people that are freaking out about trying to cut the waste, the fraud, and the abuse out of these programs are also the ones freaking out about not being able to afford anything. And it's like, well, like I said earlier, this is why.
And then they complain about not being able to afford anything, while government officials are going after like Hyundai and Kia.
Oh my God, dude. I forgot about this.
Letitia James says, we secured $9 million from Hyundai and Kia for failing to protect their cars from theft. Their reckless decisions to forego basic anti-theft measures led to car thefts with deadly consequences. Now the companies must take measures to protect their vehicles from theft. What? Like,
I don't really know what to say.
Why aren't we blaming the criminals? Why are we blaming the car companies for people stealing cars?
It's, dude, it is. You would think that would be like something you'd find in The Onion. That should be like an Onion article, right? Like, that's ridiculous, dude. Absolutely ridiculous. This is what she's spending her time. By the way, she got off on the fucking the mortgage fraud thing. We forgot to follow up on that. Some prosecutor, like the prosecutor wasn't assigned properly or some technicality horse shit. So she gets off on that, and this is what she's working on. A punish, like, so now your Kia, by the way, will be more expensive. I guarantee you, whatever was being stolen off the Kia, it was put in that place because it was like the most efficient place and the cheapest place to put it. So now that they have to rejigger their car in order to make it harder to steal, the price of the car is going to go up. So yeah, round of applause for Tish James and all the fucking jagoffs that were stealing things off of these cars. I don't even know what they're talking. Are they talking about catalytic converters? Because those aren't that easy to get to. Like, they're not that easy to get to. You have to have a Sawzall. You have to get under the car. Like, they're good at doing it. They can do it in like under a minute. But that doesn't mean it's easy to get to. But this boggles the mind, dude. And coming out there and bragging about it. Hey, we got $9 million for these guys because they made their cars too easy to steal. Meanwhile, the people that are stealing the cars, and beating people in the fucking streets and killing people, arrested 75 times, they're out. They're out on parole. Okay. This is a great way to run a society. It is just unbelievable, dude. Unfucking believable. Unbelievable. I can't get past that. That is just so wild. And we're just going to punish the car company. They made it too easy to steal. Made it too easy to steal. Not going to punish the people stealing. No. We're going to just put them back out on the streets to steal some more. We're just going to make it a little harder for them. What can you even say? What can you even say about a society like that? No wonder there's so much fucking crime, dude.
Maybe spend more time locking up the criminals instead of punishing the car companies.
You think?
Instead of punishing the manufacturer of the thing being stolen for making it too easy to steal, maybe punish the fucking criminals for stealing. Maybe disincentivize the actual stealing part of that.
It seems like a pretty reasonable. Yeah, that seems like what most normal societies would do.
You would think,
like, oh, we're having a lot of thefts like this. We need to bump up the charges on this. It's like, okay, now you're getting, like, they do that with fucking drugs. They do that with all kinds of other things. It's like, oh, we're getting a lot of this behavior. We better make the charges like much, much worse so people stop doing it. It's like, oh yeah, like chop off their fucking hand when they get caught stealing. That will end whatever theft they're going for. They start losing digits. I don't know, like, but instead we're just gonna, no, car company, give us money. And what's the what the money like is it going to reimburse the people that had stuff stolen off of their car?
Yeah,
or is this just going to Tish James' bank account so she can go on more sexcations with that fucking DA?
Supposedly, it's going to the people who had their cars stolen.
Yeah, but you got insurance for that,
right?
Like,
you got insurance. Like, why are we?
Oh God, you cannot hate the government enough. You just can't do it.
These people probably only had liability insurance, so when it got stolen, they didn't get anything. So, and because nobody can be held accountable for their own decisions, that means they need the government to sue the manufacturer so that they can get their money. So, because it's not their fault that they only had liability insurance and didn't think that, hey, I live in fucking Illinois and Minnesota with all these Somalis and well, I mean, Illinois. We don't need to, these are places where shit gets stolen. Maybe you should have insurance. I don't know. It's just an idea.
I just don't understand that mentality where it's like, yeah, you don't take personal responsibility and then you blame the manufacturer of the thing. It's absolutely ridiculous, dude. And who awarded, like, how did they win that case? How did that case even get brought? Like, where's the judge? Where's the goddamn judge? Throw him out too. Ridiculous. So how much longer do we have to wait to go to Mars? Because I think I've had it, dude. I think this is what's gonna make me leave the planet. More Tish James bullshit. Oh my God. That is just so ridiculous, man. I can't get over how ridiculous that is. And yeah, so the $9 million because they were just like, yeah, to them it's just like, fuck off. I don't have time to litigate this. It's going to cost me a fortune. It's easier for them. Then the lawyers always win. The lawyers always fucking win, no matter what happens. They get to line their pockets. These bullshit, frivolous lawsuits. But yeah, that's what Tish James is working on. Making sure that the criminals don't go to prison and that the companies pay money for them. Yeah.
In 2022 alone, more than 7,000 Hyundai and Kia vehicles were stolen in Chicago. Like,
yeah, dude, the carjackings are.
Maybe.
Well, these are manned vehicles or unmanned? We don't know, do we? Probably not. But she made it seem like it was something that on the car that made it too easy to steal. Like
they're stealing the car. They're stealing these cars and using them as getaway vehicles. Like they're stealing these cars, going and like knocking over liquor stores and doing drive-bys and using these as getaway vehicles and then dumping
them. Yeah. After they kill some people or rob a different store, run in and steal a bunch of stuff because they're hungry, obviously, right?
Yeah.
They're just hungry.
If they have more after-school programs.
Yeah. And some more peace officers.
That's right. Future doctors. We just need more after-school programs to keep them from stealing Hyundais and Kias.
Oh, my God, dude. What a ridiculous fucking clown world we live in. Unbelievable. All right. What else we got? Anything?
The last big, or I guess two big ones that we had were the two shootings that happened over the last week. There was the Bondi Beach in Australia and then the Brown University, which let's start with the Bondi Beach because I don't know. There's not really a whole lot to say about it. Like, it's Australia. They already have some of the strictest gun laws on the planet, and yet
that was evident because everybody was just standing around defenseless while these people were shooting for like 15 minutes. Did you watch any of the videos?
I'd say there was even a video of one guy that he bull rushes the shooter and like knocks him down and takes his gun.
Oh,
Yeah, dude, this guy's a badass. But then he doesn't shoot him.
He said
Why
he
aren't you
doesn't-
shooting him?
He's never held a gun before. He had absolutely no fucking clue what he was doing. So, like,
Pull the trigger, man. It's not that complicated. Oh my god! And then just start beating him with it. I don't know. Like, you don't know what that guy's gonna do.
well,
Like,
what that guy did was he escaped.
and got
He
another
ends up-
gun and started
Yeah,
shooting.
he ends up going and getting another gun, and oh, yeah. There you go. Yeah, so what that guy ended up doing was he escaped and went and got another gun and continued to shoot. There were like plenty of stills of police officers like hiding and
Oh yeah, the
standing
chick
around
police
and
officers. That's
yeah.
another issue that they have. Yeah, we got a bunch of women here being fucking police officers. It's just a terrible idea.
Yeah, doing nothing.
Like, dude, again, there was in another video, there was a guy, they were talking about how this guy, he was like standing there, he's pointing at the shooter. I'm like, dude, like wouldn't you rather be pointing a gun at them than your fucking finger? Yeah, this guy.
oh my God.
And they're just so nonchalant. They're not worried about anything. Like, they're not going to come get me.
Well, I mean, when you know that there's literally nobody else there that has a gun but you.
Yeah. They're just strolling around shooting people. It's ridiculous.
And of course, Australia's solution to this is they need more gun control.
Obviously. Yeah. But I again, dude, how do people not just see how clearly you need somebody there with a gun to stop them? And all the gun control in the world is not going to stop people from getting guns. Like, it just, again, dude, we can't even keep like drugs out of prisons when you have people locked up 24 hours a fucking day. They get cell phones, they get drugs, they get all kinds of shit in there. You think you're going to stop a free society from acquiring guns? You're living in a fantasy land.
Well, and these were Islamic terrorists. Imagine that. Like,
yeah, shooting up some sort of Jewish, like a Hanukkah ceremony or something.
Something, yeah.
Yeah. So, okay, go ahead, ban some more guns. Because I last time I checked, murder is also banned in Australia, right?
Yeah, and I think it's banned most places.
Okay. And yet people still do it. People still do it. Isn't that interesting? Isn't that interesting? That the criminals are not following the laws.
Amazing.
So your laws are fucking worthless. And the only thing that you can do once they've broken this law of gun control and murder is shoot back at them. Wouldn't you rather just have a bunch of people shooting back at them instead of just standing there waiting to be killed? They think you get like possessed by the gun or something. And if you have it on your person, you're just going to start shooting.
Speaking of, did you see
with handguns?
The FBI doesn't put out these statistics in honesty, and somebody got the actual FBI stats on like active shooters and good guy with a gun situations. 46% of active shooters are stopped by somebody with a gun. So like think of the number of like mass shootings and stuff that we actually see and hear reported and get talked about in the news. Double that if you don't have people with guns. Like,
right. Yeah. And if we did, that number would be exponentially higher, because if somebody's there with a gun, you stop them instantaneously, or you at least thwart their attempts. You make it a lot harder for them. And you're right there on the scene. Bam, zero time. It took these cops like 10, 15 minutes to get there.
Right. If you're waiting on the cops to show up, you're fucked. Like, if you're not prepared to defend yourself right now when it's happening, it's
right. And you don't think there's incompetence in law enforcement? Like, we just documented all this government incompetence when it came to the fraud. You don't think that extends to in police enforcement? Look no further than Brown University. Like, you're depending on retarded people, basically. Worthless leeches that work in government because they can't work anywhere else. And this Brown thing, I mean, this just has DEI written all over it, in my opinion. But go ahead. And, what do we have for this?
Yelled something. Right. Now, there's a report the shooter yelled something right before his shot came in. Can you tell us what that was?
Yeah, it's part of the investigation, John, and we'll, yeah.
Now, the only reason I asked that is, for instance, like with the Unabomber, his brother recognized the writing. So it's possible a friend or family member might recognize if the person said something that was significant.
Correct.
That's why you don't, other than the 9mm, is there anything else inside that auditorium that you can tell us?
No, that's correct. And listen, like I said earlier, investigations will bring us to evidence that we need to collect in order to be able to prosecute. With that being said, we're going to continue to collect evidence, and if it leads us to something to that nature that's going to be extremely helpful for us to identify somebody, we'll be the first ones to put it out.
Alex, follow up on John's question. Did the suspect yell, like has been reported in this, but some erroneous reporting, but did he yell when he came in the classroom? And how valuable have witness statements been from those who survived?
Listen, my heart goes out to the victims. It goes out to the families, and I'll tell you that their cooperation has been extremely helpful. And that, with that being said, we'll continue, and I'm gonna respect the fact that, and I hope that they get better. And my heart and soul goes out to them. So,
did he yell though?
so that's something that we're investigating. We took statements, and we have to confirm that.
Like, everybody reporting this on the internet, the statements that they took said that this dude yelled Allahu Akbar before opening fire, and they're just like, oh well, we don't know about that, or we're still taking statements on that. There's the president or the dean of Brown that they don't have cameras. Like, they took cameras down because they're not allowed to record illegals. So, and they've had all these like pro-Palestine protests and stuff that have gone on. So they've taken cameras down on fucking campus to protect illegals. Like, fuck you, fuck all of that shit. Like that. Oh, but her house, right. They've got pictures of her house that's just like 2 cameras on every fucking corner. Like, she's got all the security imaginable, but the students aren't afforded fucking anything.
Of course. And yeah, so that's one. The shooter's still at large, by the way. They have no idea where he is.
Oh, no. You didn't see the update last night?
Oh, no.
Okay, so
they got him?
This gets fucking insane. All right, so there was video. Initially, they didn't have any video. They had nothing to go off of. They apprehended somebody and then released him because it wasn't the right person, and there's no video from inside the area where the students were having their study group. They didn't have any like campus video of anything. And then magically a video, like, everybody's questioning this, like, why the fuck don't y'all have any cameras? How do you have a whole fucking college campus and you don't have any surveillance video at all, fucking period, of a mass shooter on your campus? Like, yeah, what the fuck? So then finally this video comes out of the suspected shooter walking across campus. The Twitter and 4chan sleuths that found the J6 pipe bomber, who we can go into that as well. But so
the white man.
Yeah, the white man, which what they found, what the internet sleuths found was that it was a white woman who is a former Capitol police officer that now works for the CIA. And then after that, they go arrest this dude that doesn't fit any of the, like, doesn't look like any of the video of the pipe bomber walking around. And it, like, apparently the FBI just knew about this all the time, this whole time. They just chose to wait 4.5 years until somebody, like, found out who it actually was before they decided to go arrest somebody for the pipe bombing thing. So, like, all right, you should already have your, like, you know, conspiracy feelers up. So this video comes out. The internet sleuths are like, they find this Palestinian immigrant who is a pro-Palestine, like, marches in the pro-Palestine protests and stuff, chanting Allahu Akbar, who is also a big, like, LGBTQ activist and all kinds of other bullshit. They do the gate analysis thing. And they determined that, like, there's a 97.8% chance that this Palestinian immigrant student who's part of all of these, you know, gay ass organizations on campus is probably the one, based on and also just how fat the suspect on the video is and the build of this student and everything. Like, everything matches up. Like, within 24 hours, all of a sudden now Providence police has, like, pictures of the person. Like, they haven't had any video, pictures, nothing this whole time for 3-4 days. And now all of a sudden, whenever people are like, hey, look, it's this dude. Number one, Brown University completely scrubs this motherfucker from their website. Like, nothing exists. Like, he was part of all these organizations, pro-Palestine, LGBTQ plus organizations and everything, and, like, all over the website. Brown scrubs everything. Motherfucker is gone. He has disappeared from the face of the earth. Nobody knows where he is. And then all of a sudden, now the Providence police have pictures of the actual suspect. And then within 24 hours of that, the suspect is found. They know his name. They have, like, clear pictures of him. They know where he's from. He's a Portuguese immigrant who lives in Miami and all of this other bullshit. And, like, for some reason, he's also linked to the MIT professor that got shot because some guy named John saw him and interacted with him, and there was this rental car and blah, blah, blah. But it's okay because they found him in a storage unit in New Hampshire, shot himself in the head. So it's all case closed. We got the guy. It's all good.
Are they going to pin the Kennedy assassination on him too?
I may as well at this point. Fuck.
Wow, I didn't know any of that.
Yeah, it's been a wild 12 to 15 hours of covering this shit or keeping up with it.
Yeah, that does get the Spidey sense going,
right? I mean, like, how did they go from literally 5 days ago they had nothing,
and then just train wrecks of. Every
single press conference was an absolute disaster. Yeah. They were falling all over themselves to sound more retarded than the last person who had a press conference.
Yeah.
And then, like, literally overnight, they have a picture of the person and they know his name and everything about him. And oh, guess what? He's dead.
Yeah. Very convenient. Very convenient. I mean, it's just. And every witness in the room said he yelled something. The reporting I heard was like it was inaudible or something. But there's only one. Nobody yells anything except for fucking Muslims when they're committing terrorist attacks. There's nothing that white people can say. We don't have a phrase. Like, we don't have this Allahu Akbar thing. We don't have anything to say. So we just start shooting. It's just so obvious.
See, we need to come up with a good white person catchphrase, like before you go on a mass shooting.
We don't have a slogan. Yeah. You'd think we would by now. We've been slaughtering kids in schools for so long. No coherent slogan.
Well, okay. So the follow-up press conference to they now have the shooter and he's dead was that he barked like a dog when he attacked. He was barking like a dog.
Okay. Jesus Christ, dude.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
And you got a police chief that doesn't speak English. And God, what are we doing, dude? Oh my God. Yeah. And Brown University doesn't want cameras because, we don't want to help ICE out.
Right. You got a police chief that doesn't speak English. I'm trying to find, there's another one that's like the police attaché or whatever that does some of these, like, and it's a tranny that's just an absolute, that's the worst. The tranny is the worst train wreck of all of the press conferences. I couldn't find the fucking video on that one. But like, what the hell is going on? Keep your kids away from the Northeast. Like the New England states are just an absolute like hellhole. Like,
yeah, I don't know what you do. I don't know how to get away from it. I've been trying to find a way to get out from under the thumb of the U.S. government. You just can't do it. You literally cannot do it. They will, no matter where you go in the world, they will fucking tax you. It's driving me crazy. We're all slaves, just so you know. It's another thing I've been going through. Unless you want to renounce your citizenship, and then you just have to pay, tens of thousands of dollars to do that. Anyway, that's some crazy Brown University shit, dude. That is crazy. And we don't really know the motive for the shooting. I know there was like
because they've linked this dude to
a Peruvian guy
shooting this MIT professor and like
right, who was working on like fusion,
some sort of nuclear technology.
Yeah.
So, like it all, yeah, everything about it just none of it adds up. It doesn't make any sense. Like
any other open cases that they can pin on this dead Peruvian, they're gonna do it.
Just nuts.
That is crazy, man. Well, the other thing, like people were freaking out about was like, oh yeah, they kept saying like, there's no threat. Like you can go back to school, blah, 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 blah. Meanwhile, like the guy is theoretically on the loose the whole time. And yeah, great police work over there. Government's just doing a bang up job on all fronts. I think we should give them some more money and some more power and some more responsibility. Yeah, this is the hope and change that Obama was going for. Just say a fucking prayer. Just give them all your money and hope and pray that they do something decent for you. And shit in one hand, do that in the other, and you tell me which one fills up first. Because this is an unmitigated disaster by any measure. How the market's doing? Been watching them. We're up. Everything's green today, including precious metal. Dude, silver is on an absolute fucking tear. 66.75 right now. There's some weird shit going on in the silver markets, dude. Like there's it's a really important metal apparently in all this AI stuff. And so it's become like a strategic asset, I think, for a lot of governments. China's buying up a bunch of it. And there's just not enough physical gold to be delivered for all these contracts. And I think all these countries are scrambling to try to get their hands on some silver because all this AI tech, like these chips and these fucking robots and everything, they all use silver. And nobody has enough of it. Mexico, just basically the #1 producer of an exporter of silver in the world, they haven't come out straight outright and banned exports of it, but there's like a soft ban on it because they don't want to start giving it away to other countries. So, but on top of that, like I said, we just started. According to Trump, we got the greatest economy in the world, even though we're hemorrhaging jobs, and we're restarting QE. QE, if you're not old enough to remember, that was an emergency thing that we started in the wake of the 2008 financial crisis. Emergency measures, because the economy was on the brink of collapse. And we've gone back to it. I mean, Peter Schiff was right about that. I remember he was joking. He's like, we're going to have more QEs than Rocky movies. And I think we've probably surpassed it now. This is like the 5th round, or are there 6 Rocky movies? Maybe there's 6 of them. So they've ramped this up again. So they are going to destroy the dollar. Like that is just, it's guaranteed. So prices are going to keep going up as much as Donald Trump keeps telling you that they're down. They're not. Inflation came in yesterday at 2.7% year over year. Okay. They were expecting 3, but 2.7 is an increase in prices. So they've never actually decreased. They just keep going up by 2, 3%, 8%, 9% at one point. But as high as those prices were 2.7% higher. So there you go. And I think the precious metals are telling you that. Gold's closing in on new all-time high. Silver's at every day is like a new all-time high for silver. It's crazy. And the markets are closing in on, well, they had a big down day the other day, but they're rallying back today. Everything's at all-time highs but your dollar. So plan accordingly. This is the last episode of the year. Is that right?
Yeah.
We're not going to do it. Do you want to do one next week or no? We're off
I'm
for
not.
that week.
I'm not going to be around.
All right. Well, that's it, dude. 2025 in the books. Any last words?
No, nothing I can think of off the top of my head. I'm coming up on, I need to eat something. I can feel my body needs something.
All right. Well,
hopefully by the time we get back, I'll be significantly more recovered than what I am now.
Yep. I hope so, man. Speedy recovery. And have a nice Christmas, everybody. Merry Christmas. Happy New Year. We'll see you in 2026. Holy shit.
Hell yeah.
And yeah. And thanks for listening. And until then, you guys know what to do. Just keep on peddling that so-called fiction. Peace.